Hey traders, it's Friday, September 16th. Prior to the market open, let me put some of these headlines into perspective and why this market keeps going lower. I'll just keep saying it. It's a dollar. Futures are down. FedEx reported very weak results. Why did FedEx report weak results? If you look through the lines, if you look through the presentation and read between the lines, you're going to see very simple. FedEx is a global company. They do business all over the world. The dollar is just too strong, way too strong. Their guidance, when they come out with guidance today, it's going to be even worse than the number. So this is a harbinger of things to come. We're going to get the same type of action when the tech companies begin to report and their guidance. The dollar is just too strong. British pound, which I mentioned yesterday, is now at a 1985 low, okay? 1985 low. The euro is already broken. It's below parity. As I said yesterday, the pound will also break parity or get close to parity at some point. Again, this is our largest trading partner in Europe. A lot of exports go to the UK. A lot of exports go to Europe. This is going to hurt the large tech companies and also large manufacturing, whatever there's left, manufacturing companies in the US, car companies, etc. This is a real disaster for earnings. And so that means we haven't yet begun the real slide in stocks. Okay, stocks are down quite a bit. We're getting close to that June low. We're going to break that low, and we're going to go lower. And I don't think there's anything that can save us. The Fed right now is focused on getting ahead of the curve. They're way behind the curve. They've got to raise rates. They've got to continue to raise rates. We're going to see 100 basis points minimum. If Powell was smart, he's not, but if he was smart, he'd do 200 basis points and then maybe take a pause. But he won't do that. He'll do 100, indicate 75, whatever. The market may rally on that news because they're saying, oh, he did 100, now he's doing 75. But any rally that happens because of what Powell says should be sold. The other big news today, I mean, this is really serious. Germany took over 3 oil refineries from the Russian company Rosneft. Now, I think the Germans believe they smell blood. They think that the Russians are weak because Ukraine has made some short-term military gains. But this is not to be looked at as Russian weakness. The ruble is right now the strongest currency in Europe and Asia by far. Okay, I'll repeat that again. The Russian ruble is one of the strongest currencies right now in the world, second to the US dollar. Russians have a lot of cash. They have a lot of hard currency. There will be a counteroffensive. It will be vicious. Okay, Germany thinks that they solve their problems by seizing Rosneft oil refineries. This is a disaster for Germany. Why is it a disaster? Okay, the U.S. just came out again and said, we cannot increase our supplies. We cannot supply any more gas, LNG than we have already. So we cannot bail out Europe during the winter. So there will be serious issues this winter if there's a harsh winter, especially in places like Italy. Germans will try to subsidize. Already the UK government is already coming out and said they're going to subsidize heating bills. I mean, this is a nightmare, and it's not going to end. Okay, it's if we have a harsh winter, we're going to see social unrest. We're going to see major issues. But at the end of the day, all this news comes down to the dollar. Okay, I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. The stock market is going to continue to go lower. Inflation is continuing to go higher. The U.S. dollar being stronger is putting a lot of pressure on large U.S. companies. It's hurting the yen, it's hurting the euro, it's hurting the British pound. We're seeing all-time lows in all of these currencies, but we will continue to see all-time lows in all these currencies, and there's nothing going to stop it. And again, the implication here from a stock market standpoint is earnings. Okay, earnings are going to suffer. The tech companies like Apple has not yet broken down. Apple sells a lot of phones overseas. Okay, this is going to have a significant crunch on their profit. That their products are too expensive. They're not selling overseas. They're not selling in China. They're not selling in Europe. Apple's, trying to do as much as they can in the U.S. It's not going to work, and these large tech companies are going to get hit. Okay, that's the bottom line. So, what to do today? It's a Friday. If the selling continues, it will sell into the close. I wouldn't buy anything. Maybe at 4 o'clock you might want to buy something at the close for a trade into Monday. I don't know, but the trend is lower. Gold has broken down, as I mentioned yesterday. Gold will continue to go lower. You've got to be prepared to buy gold no matter what is going on at the next level, around the 1400 level. It should be there before year end. And again, we're going to see, I really believe that inflation has peaked. We're going to see the signs of that. And as soon as we see any signs of that, this Jay Powell, who is not one of the guys I would really rely on, but he's going to indicate, he's a dove, he's in the pockets of private equity. He's going to indicate that he may, maybe slow down, and then we're going to see a short-term rally. But by then it's going to be too late, because the dollar will have already destroyed or beginning to destroy EPS and earnings for a large percentage of the large cap companies in the U.S. So even Jay Powell indicating that he may try to ease up rates, the rising of rates, that's not going to help, because at the end of the day, the U.S. market is driven by earnings. And just one last thing about crypto. I don't know much about crypto, but I do like Bitcoin. But unfortunately, Bitcoin is breaking down, like gold is breaking down. But unfortunately, I think with Bitcoin, there are no buyers outside there. There are no buyers, okay? Gold has one thing going for it, is that the Russians, the Chinese, are buying a lot of gold. They continue to buy gold, and it's been cushioning gold from really dropping. Whereas with Bitcoin, we don't have that. So there's no sovereign governments buying a lot of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to flush at some point. The other cryptos are really going to flush. And when the other cryptos start going away and start going to, that's when Bitcoin is become a buy, because Bitcoin, I believe, is a real asset. But you need to get rid of all these other currencies out there to make it what it will be at one point will be digital gold. But until then, everything's going lower, except the dollar, except the Russian ruble. A lot of geopolitical stuff going on over the weekend and through next week. It's going to be a lot of negative news. And then as soon as September's over, we're going to start looking about earnings, and that's not going to be good. So October is going to be also a very difficult month. September historically is the worst, but I think October is going to end up to be worse than September in 2022. And unfortunately, I say happy trading.